शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपार करुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरेन्द्र गुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहं। सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओं। कुणत्काञ्ची दामा करिकलभकुम्भस्सरणता परीक्षीणा मध्ये परिणत शरच्चन्द्रवदना धनुर्भानान् पाशं श्रीमपि ददाना करतलैः पुरस्तादास्तां नः पुरमथितुराहु पुरुषिका. In Lalitha Sahasranamam, we have to see from shloka number 61. Until now, we have seen several aspects of Lalitha Sahasranamam. We have seen several aspects of Ambal in Lalitha Sahasranamam. We have seen Ambal's Sthula Swarupam. We have seen Ambal's Sukshma Swarupam. We have seen Ambal's Mantra Swarupam. We have seen Ambal's Swarupam as Kundalini Shakti. We have seen elaborately the fight between Bandasura and Ambal, how Ambal has reinstated Devas over the Swargaloka. All those things we have seen. And most importantly, we have also seen the Nirguna Swarupam of Ambal. Ambal, how as Atma is Nirguna. All these namas, even though they express one guna or the other, but as Adhishtana, Ambal is Nirguna. We also saw, okay, when we tell, okay, Ambal is Nirguna, Ambal does not have any guna, it will be problem for us to remember. It will be problem for us to meditate upon that Swarupam. So we have seen a series of nama which said Sarva Mantratmika, Sarva Yantratmika, Sarva Mantra Swarupini, Sarva Tantra Swarupini, Mahayaga Kramaradya. So many namas with the Maha Shabda and the Sarva Shabda, where it gives a positive spin to the same subject. We have seen that as well. Now we are going to see yet another very, very important aspect of Lalitha Sahasranama. In fact, Mahapariyava says in Devathan Kural, Vedanta and Srividya, that is Srividyopasana. Srividya is a Upasana Marga, Vedanta is a philosophy. Srividya, the Upasana Marga of Srividya takes the sadhakas very, very close to Vedanta, very, very close to Advaita. Advaita, Vedanta, all these are Jnanam. Vividya, Upasana, it is a karma along with some Jnanam. But Mahapariyava says in Devathan Kural, there are many ways, there are many Upasana Margas. Among all the Upasana Margas, Srividyopasana Marga takes the devotees very, 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 very close to Acharyal's Bhashyam in Upanishads, very, very close to the real meaning of Vedanta Shastra. That is why Mahapariyava says in Devathan Kural, even though for Chandramaulishwara they do puja, because for Shiva Puja you can either do puja through Shivagama or Vaidhika. You can do either puja through Shivagama. Shivagama means what we see in temples. In Shiva temples, the puja they follow Shivagama Paddhati. There is also a Vaidhika Paddhati. Mahapariyava says, even though for Shiva, for Chandramaulishwara, there are two Upasana Margas available. One Vaidhika Upasana or number two Agama Upasana. Mahapariyava says, in our Matham, we only follow the Vaidhika Upasana. But for Ambal, they do Sri Chakra Puja. They do Sri Vidya Upasana. For Ambal, The puja is through the Sri Vidya Upasana Marga because there is an avirodha. There is no contradictory between the Sri Vidya Upasana Marga and the Vedanta Darshana, says Mahaperiyava in Daivattin Kural. Why? Because of namas like this. In coming namas, Pancha Preta Sanasina, Pancha Brahma Swarupini, Chinmayi, Paramananda, Vijnana Ghanarupini, Dhyana Dhyatrudhyeya Rupa, Sarvavastha, Dharma Dharma Vivar, all these namas, the Jiva Ishvara Aikyam, or not Aikyam, it says all these namas elucidate Ambal's Jiva Swarupam as well, Ambal's Ishvara Swarupam as well. Ambal is Jiva, Ambal is Ishvara. There is no other thing. Normally, we see three things in this universe. Normally, we are aware of three things, or whatever the things that we know can be classified into these three categories. Tattvatrayam. What are these three tattvas? What are these three categories? Number one is Jiva, that is our own self. Number two is Ishvara. We know we exist. We know there is somebody called as Ishvara. We also know there is something called as Jagat. Jagat means this universe. We also know there is something apart from our own self, which we call as Jagat. Jiva is our own self. Jagat is this universe. Ishvara is the person who has created both the Jiva and Jagat. So whatever the things that are present in this universe can be categorized into these three categories. But at the end, there is no difference between Jiva, Jagat, and Ishvara. All these things are just one or the other manifestations of Ishvara. Is what is the final product of Vedanta Darshana. And in order to elucidate that factor, here Vagdevis are going to tell namas. So there are going to be three types of namas. There are going to be namas that elucidates Ambal's Ishwaratvam. Ambal is Ishvara. There will be some nama. There will be some namas that say Ambal is Jiva. That is, Ambal is us. There will be some namas that is going to come. I will tell you which namas and I will tell you how that is very relevant. And there is also going to be some namas that are going to say the Abheda, the non-difference between Jiva, Ishvara, and the Jagat. So all these three are going to come in this series of namas. In fact, this is what Vedanta Mahavakya says. What is a Mahavakya? Tattvamasi is a Mahavakya. Aham Brahmasmi is a Mahavakya. Ayamatma Brahma Mahavakya. Prajnanam Brahma Mahavakya. All these are called as Mahavakya. There are many Mahavakyas. These are four very famous Mahavakyas. What are Mahavakyas? Mahavakyas are parts of Upanishads. They are from Upanishads and they reveal the non-difference between the Jiva and Ishvara. If we want to see Mahavakya, Mahavakyams can be interpreted as mathematical equations. Mahavakyam can be seen as mathematical equations. Now we have to ask question. 5 is equal to 5. If somebody tells you 5 is equal to 5, is it an equation? Yes, 5 equals 5 is an equation. Is it an interesting equation? No. Everybody can say 5 equal to 5. Even if somebody who does not know mathematics, if he write 5 equals 5, before there is a symbol, after there is a symbol, both the symbols are same, so they have to be equal. You don't even need to know mathematics in order to say 5 equals 5. So in order to say 5 equals 5, you don't need Upanishads. You don't need Vedas. Vedas have to tell us something which we don't know. If we already know something, if Vedas reveal them, then there is no utility for Vedas. So 5 equals 5 is not an interesting equation, even though it is a correct equation. If somebody says 5 equals 7, okay, now the equation is interesting because left hand side there is one number, right hand side there is another number, but is it a correct equation? It is an interesting equation. It is going to tell us something new. But 5 equals 7, is it a correct equation? If we see, it is not a correct equation. We don't know. Vedas cannot tell you something that is wrong. So 5 equals 5, it is a correct equation, but not interesting equation. You don't need Veda to tell something 5 equals 5. 5 equals 7, it might be an interesting equation, but it is not a correct equation. So you don't need Vedas to tell. But if somebody says 3 plus 2 equals 7 minus 2, if somebody tells you 3 plus 2 equals 7 minus 2, is it a correct equation? Yes, 3 plus 2 is 5, 7 minus 2 is 5, but it is also going to be an interesting equation because the symbols on the left-hand side, they are not equal to the symbol on the right-hand side. So you need a teacher to tell you 3 plus 2 equals 7 minus 2. In the same way, if Jivatma equals Jivatma, Paramatma equals Paramatma, they are different. Say if Vedas tells them, that will look right. Okay, Jivatma is Jivatma, Paramatma is Paramatma. I already know that. Why do I need Vedas to tell me Jivatma, Jivatma and Paramatma is Paramatma? I already know. I cannot control everything in this universe. I see a potter making pot. If there is a pot, then there has to be a person who has made the pot. Potter and pot, they are two different entities. In the same way, the whole universe is a product. There is a Paramatma, there is an Ishvara who is going to make this universe like a potter making pot. He is going to be different. I am going to be different. I already know that. Do I need Vedas to tell me that? No. But if Veda says Jivatma is equal to Paramatma, I don't know. I cannot arrive at that conclusion myself. I need Vedas to tell me. So Jivatma equals Paramatma is like saying 3 plus 2 equals 7 minus 2, because you need to see, okay, what is really Jivatma? What is really Paramatma? If we see the essence of what is Jivatma, if we see the essence of what is Paramatma, they are equal. So you would need a teacher to tell you, just like how you would need a teacher to tell you 3 plus 2 equals 7 minus 2. In the same way, you need Vedas to tell you how Jivatma is very, very similar to Paramatma. That is what here Vagdevis are also doing. Vagdevis will tell, okay, all these namas refer to Jivatma. All these namas refer to Paramatma. And all these namas refer to Ambal. So Jivatma is Ambal, Paramatma is Ambal. So Paramatma is Jivatma. So the Vedanta Mahavakya is being established in these things. If you want to take the math analogy to one more extent, people will say, okay, if I say 3 plus 2 equals 7 minus 2, it will be wrong to see that. But when we say, okay, what is 3 plus 2? 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. You have to manipulate something on the left-hand side. You have to come to some answer. And then you have to manipulate something on the right-hand side. You have to come to some answer. And then see, they both are equal. In the same way here, Vagdevis are saying Jivatma equals Paramatma. Take that equation. Jivatma is Ambal. Paramatma is Ambal. Hence, Jivatma is equal to Paramatma. If A is equal to B, B equal to C, then A is equal to C. Right? In the same way, this is what Vagdevis are going to do. Jivatma is equal to Ambal. Ambal is equal to Paramatma. Then what do we see? Obviously, the answer that we are going to get is Jivatma is equal to Paramatma. That is why here the Vedanta Mahavakya, the Advaita Shastra is being established in Lalitha Sahasranamam. Now we will go to the individual namas. Pancha Pretasanasina, Pancha Brahma Swarupini, Chinmayi, Paramananda, Vijnana Ghanarupini. Here, this is the beauty of Lalitha Sahasranama. Many meanings are conveyed in the same nama. Even though the Vedantic Mahavakyam is the main thing that the Vagdevis want to convey, Vagdevis also convey some of the technical aspects of Sri Vidya Tantram in these namas. Pancha Preta Asana Sina. Pancha Preta Asana Asina. Ambal is having an asanam. Ambal is sitting. Asina. Ambal is sitting. Normally, what do we sit? We have to sit in an asanam, right? Asana Asina. Ambal is sitting in an asanam. What is that asanam made of? Srimad Simhasaneshwari. Here, there is another name for that Srimad Simhasanam. Panchapretasanam. There are 5 pretas. Pretas means dead bodies. 5 dead bodies. Ambal is sitting on top of 5 dead bodies, says Vagdevis. ரொம்பவே அபத்தமா இருக்கு. இது என்னது, பிரேதத்தை தொட்டாலே நம்ம சுவாமியை இது பண்ண மாட்டோம், குளிச்சுட்டு வருவோம், தீட்டு அப்படி இப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். அம்பாள் is sitting over 5 dead bodies. If we take the literal nama, ரொம்ப அபத்தமா இருக்கும். ஆனா there is a beautiful meaning that is behind these namas. What are those 5 people? Let us first see. Pancha Preta Asanasina. Ambal is sitting over 5 corpses, literal meaning. What are those 5 corpses? The names of the corpses are going to come later in Lalitha Sahasranamam itself. They are Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra. These 3 entities we all know. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Normally Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. We say Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Here we are saying Brahma, that is Brahmaji, Chaturmukha Brahma, husband of Saraswati, who creates everything. Vishnu, who protects everybody. And Shiva or Rudra, who destroys everybody. So Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, these are 3 entities. Tantra Shastra also adds 2 more entities called as Ishvara and Sadashiva. Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, we already know. Tantra adds 2 more entities, Ishvara and Sadashiva. All these are technical meaning, technical names. They all have separate meanings. I will tell what do all these people do very briefly here, because all these namas are going to come later in the same block. It is going to come there. We will see even more elaborately. Brahma creates everything. Vishnu protects everything. Rudra destroys everything. Ishvara does something called as Tirodana. Tirodana, மறைத்தல் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க தமிழ்ல. மறைக்கிறது, அதாவது ஜீவனுக்கு all the jivas, because of some maya shakti, we are made unaware of our previous karmas. We have taken a lot of janma. So if I sleep tonight, if I wake up tomorrow morning, I obviously remember most of the things that happened yesterday. According to our Shastra, our Janmam is like sleep and wake up. This Janma is one day. Next Janma is going to be another day. I sleep, I die, and then I wake up. I wake up as the next Janma. But I remember all those things that happened yesterday, but I cannot remember all those things that happened in my previous Janma. நமக்கு பாதி பேருக்கு நேத்திக்கு என்ன நடந்ததுன்னு ஞாபகம் இருக்கிறதே கஷ்டம். இந்த அப்படி இருக்கறச்சே போன ஜென்மால என்ன நடந்ததுன்னு நமக்கு எப்படி தெரியும்? How do we know what happened in the previous janma? But it happened because we are like அதோட பலனை நம்ம அனுபவிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். We are experiencing all those palams of our previous janma, but we don't remember what happened in the previous janma. Why? because of this Ishvara. So here when I say Ishvara, don't take, okay, Ishvara, Sada. So these are technical meanings, just like how there is a person called as Rudra, there is a person called as Ishvara. That person is responsible for removing all our previous jnanam, Ishvara. And Sadashiva, once I remove everything, then I need to get moksha. Then there has to be somebody who has to bless me with moksha. Sadashiva is that person who blesses us with moksha, who does anugraha. So Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, creator, protector, destroyer. Ishvara is hider. He is going to hide things from us. Sadashiva is going to bless all of us. So these five people are called as Pancha Brahma or Pancha Preta. So these are five entities on top of who Ambal is sitting. What does that mean? And why they are called as Preta? Now we need to know. They are called as Preta because they by themselves cannot do anything. All these five are called as Preta. Preta literally means a dead body. They by themselves cannot do. They have to have Shakti to do. They have to have Shakti to do anything, to do their own jobs. That is Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Tirobhava, Anugraha. And Ambal is that Shakti. When Ambal is sitting on top of them, when Ambal goes out from them, they are as good as Pretas. இதை நம்ம தமிழ்லயே பார்க்கலாம். சிவம் அப்படின்னு இருக்கு. சிவத்துக்கு சக்தி இல்லைனா Shivam becomes Shavam. Shavam means dead body. Shivam means Parameshwara. When that Ikara, Mahaperiyava does a beautiful research in Devathan Kural, he says, Eem is Kamakala Swarupam, it is Ambal Swarupam, because whatever Nama, whatever, Ambal's Nama, they will end with E, Inge Pakala, Swarupini, விஞ்ஞான கனரூபிணி எல்லாமே ஈன்னு முடிஞ்சா அது அம்பாளுக்குரியது அப்படின்னு சாஸ்திரமே இருக்கு. சோ அந்த சிவத்துல let's take the word Shiva and remove the Ikara. If we remove Ikara from Shiva, Shiva becomes a Shava. Shava means Preta. Shava means dead body. நம்ம நார்மலாவே சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம் அதான். So since Ambal is the Shakti for all these five people, if Ambal removes, if we just take the Shakti out of these five people becomes a Preta, as good as a dead body. So don't think that they are literal dead bodies. They are not literal dead bodies. It is just a poetical expression. Now we have to know why here Ambal is called as sitting over all these people. Panchapreta Asana Asina. Ambal is sitting on top of these five people. அதுமே நம்ம சாதாரணமா பார்க்கலாம். If somebody நம்ம ஒரு எக்ஸ்பிரஷனே இருக்கு, என் தலைமையில ஏறி உட்கார்ந்துட்டு ஆடுறா அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். தலைமையில ஏறி உட்கார்ந்துட்டு ஆடுறான்னா என்ன? If somebody has got more control over myself than my own self, நம்ம தமிழ்ல we will say என் தலைமையில ஏறி உட்கார்ந்துக்கிறா. If somebody is going to take so much advantage of us, what do we say? ஏ என் தலைமையில ஏண்டா ஏறி உட்கார்ற நம்ம கேட்போமா இல்லையா? Because they want to control us. If somebody is controlling us, even colloquially, even in Tamil, we say, தலைமையில ஏறி உட்கார்ந்துக்கிற, you are sitting on top of my head அப்படிங்கிறோம் இல்லையா? Because all these five people are controlled by Ambal, Ambal is said to sit on top of these five people. நம்ம படம் எல்லாம் பார்க்கிறோம். Lalitha Parameshwari அப்படின்னு ஒரு photo பார்த்தா, if we see the photo of Lalitha Parameshwari, there will be four legs to that chair, and in each leg there will be one leg Brahma will be there, in one leg Vishnu is there, in one leg Rudra will be there, in one leg Ishvara will be there. Sadashiva will be the bed. Sadashiva will be that seat upon which Ambal sits. What does that mean? Don't take everything in literal sense, but it means because they want to draw it in such a way. They don't have any other way to express that concept. So they say, okay, ஒரு நாற்காலிக்கு ஒரு சேருக்கு there has to be 4 கால், 4 காலுக்கு 4 பேரை போடு, and சீட்டு வேணும், சீட்டுக்கு பதிலா சதாசிவனை போடு அப்படின்னு. It is just a form of expression. So don't take it as literal way. Even if people portray that, even if there are statues like that, it is only has to be taken with proper understanding. So pancha preta asana sina. Pancha preta asana sina. Pancha, 5 people. Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Ishvara, Sadashiva. Preta, because if Ambal is not there, they are as good as dead bodies. That is why they are called as Pretas. Asanasina, because Ambal rules over all of them. That is why Ambal is said to be sitting on top of them. Pancha Preta Sanasina. Next nama, Pancha Brahma Swarupini. If we say that, if we say the first nama, Pancha Preta Sanasina, now we all will have a question. What question? If Ambal is different from all these 5 people, if I say Ambal is the one who directs, Ambal is the one who rules over these 5 people, now the question comes, okay, maybe Ambal is different from these 5 people. Lalitha Sahasranamam says, no. Ambal is all these 5 people. Pancha Brahma Swarupini. All these 5 people are called as Pancha Brahma. Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Ishvara, Sadashiva. All these 5 people are called as Pancha Brahma. Ambal is in the form of them as well. Pancha Preta Sanasina. Pancha Brahma Swarupini. Pancha Brahma also means several things. Ishana, Tatpurusha, Aghora, Vamadeva, Sadyojata. These 5 are 5 faces of Parameshwara. Sadyojadam prabadhyami Sadyojataya vai namo namaha. Bhave bhave nadi bhave bhavasvamam. Bhavodbhavaya namaha. वामदेवाय नमो ज्येष्ठाय नमः श्रेष्ठाय नमो रुद्राय नमः कालाय नमः कलविकरणाय नमो भलविकरणाय नमो भलाय नमो भलप्रमथनाय नमः सर्वभूततमनाय नमो मनोन्मनाय नमः अघोरेभ्यो दघोरेभ्यो घोरघोरतरेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः सर्वशर्वेभ्यो नमस्ते अस्तु रुद्ररूपेभ्यः तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात् ईशानः सर्वविद्यानाम् ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपतिर्ब्रह्मणोऽधिपतिर्ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवो. These are called as Pancha Brahma mantras. It comes in Upanishad, Mahanarayana Upanishad. Each mantra corresponds to one face of Parameshwara. So Ambal is in the form of all the 5 faces of Parameshwara. Sadyojada, Vamadeva, Aghora, Tatpurusha, Ishana. So Ambal is Pancha Brahma Swarupini. Even Narayana has got 5 forms. The first form is called as Paravasudeva. Paravasudeva is the highest form. Just like how Shiva has got Sadyojada, Vamadeva, Aghora, Ishana, Tatpurusha, there is a Paravasudeva, there is a Vyuhavasudeva, there is a Pratyubna, there is an Aniruddha, there is a Shankarshana. So 5 people. Paravasudeva, also called as Narayana. There is a Vyuhavasudeva, Pratyubna, Aniruddha, Sankarshana. These are called as 5 Brahmas according to Vaishnavism, according to Pancharatra Shastram, and Ambal is in the form of all these 5. So Ambal is called as Pancha Brahma Swarupini. Why? How? Because Ambal is Chinmayi. Ambal is in the form of consciousness. There can be only one conscious entity. All of us are just a reflection of that consciousness. How? If we have a nice and sunny day, if I have 5 pots filled with water, the sun will be reflecting 5 times in the 5 pots. Our body is like that pot. Our chitta, our manas is like that water. That consciousness, that is the sun, gets reflected in the water, gets reflected in the water of our mind, and that is enclosed in the our body, which is the part. That is what we think as original consciousness. But there is only one consciousness. All of us are just reflections of that consciousness. Just like how reflections of sun we can see in many different parts. Even though if we have 1,000 parts, there is going to be 1,000 reflections of the sun, but there is only one sun. In the same way, there is only one consciousness called as Chit. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Sat Chit Ananda. சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, அந்த ஞானம், அந்த சித்து, there is only one consciousness. All of us are just reflections of that consciousness. That is why Ambal is called as Pancha Brahma Swarupini, because she is present as the consciousness principle. She is all pervading as the consciousness principle. So Chinmayi, Parama Ananda, whatever Anandam that we experience, it has a lot of flaws. It has a lot of problems. Eating a gulab jamun gives me lot of ananda, lots of happiness. But what is the problem? My blood sugar level is going to increase. Doctor is going to say, hey, don't eat gulab jamun. And after some point, I will also be bored of eating gulab jamun. All these are problems of ananda that we experience. But as Chitswarupam, Ambal is Parama Ananda. There is an eternal Ananda without any interruptions. All the Ananda that we have, they all will be interrupted. They all are broken. But that with which is Chit, it is also Ananda, Parama Ananda. Vijnana Ghana Rupini. Ghana means Kutam. All of our Vijnanas, all of our intellects, Ambal is in that form. I have some intellect. You have some intellect. The other person has some intellect. Ambal is that form with which all of us have taken. Ambal is that intellect ocean. This is just a figurative speech. It has got very deep Vedantic meaning, which we are not seeing now. But see, imagine Ambal is like that ocean. And from that ocean, I take one spoon. Ambal is that ocean of intellect. I take one spoon and then I enjoy that one spoon worth of intellect throughout my life. Somebody takes one karandi, and then somebody who is more intelligent, they will take one karandi out of that ocean and they will enjoy that karandi of intellect throughout their life. But all those intellects comes from what? All those intellects are coming from that one big ocean. That is why Ambal is called as Vijnana Ghana Rupini. So all these namas in this shloka represents Ambal as Ishvara Tattva. Pancha Preta Sanasina, Pancha Brahma Swarupini. Ambal is in the form of Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Ishvara, Sadashiva. Pancha Brahma Swarupini. Ambal is even superior to them. Pancha Preta Sanasina. Ambal is Chinmayi, Chit. Ambal is Parama Ananda, Anantam. Ambal is Vijnana Ghana Rupini. All these explain the Ishvara Swarupam of Ambal. Now, the Jiva Swarupam of Ambal is going to come. Dhyana, Dhyatru, Dhyeya Rupa. The next shloka. Dhyana, Dhyatru, Dhyeya Rupa, Dharma, Dharma Vivarjita. Vishwarupa Jagarani Swapanti Taijasatmika Sukta Pragyatmika Turya Sarvavastha Vivarjita. These 1.5 shlokas, they explain the Jiva Swarupam of Ambal. How? Dhyana, Dhyatru, Dhyeya Rupa. Dhyana, because this is Lalita Sahasranamam, because this is Dhyana Pradana, Vagdevi gives this example. Dhyana Rupa, Dhyatru Rupa, Dhyeya Rupa. Even though this is one nama, Dhyana, Dhyatru, Dhyeya Rupa, we have to split this as 3 and then take them together. Dhyana Rupa, Dhyatru Rupa, Dhyeya Rupa. What is Dhyana Rupa, Dhyatra Rupa, Dhyeya Rupa? Say we sit in meditation. We want to meditate upon Ambat. We want to do Dhyanam of Ambat. Right? So we ourselves is called as Dhyatru. We ourselves is called as Dhyatru. Dhyatru is that person who does meditation, who does Dhyanam is called as Dhyatru. Dhyeya, meaning that object upon which meditation is being done. Ambal is called as Dhyeya. I am Dhyatru. Ambal is Dhyeya because I meditate upon that Ambal. And that process is called as Dhyana. So Dhyana is the process with which the Dhyatru, the meditator, meditates upon the Dhyeya, the object of meditation. Now this Nama says all these three entities are Ambal. Ambal is in the form of Dhyana. Ambal is in the form of Dhyatru. Ambal is in the form of Dhyeya. Ambal is the process with which we meditate. Ambal is the meditator. Ambal is also the person being meditated upon. Dhyana, Dhyatru, Dhyeya Rupa. How? If Ambal, if Dhyanam is Ambal, Ambal is Dhyana Rupa, I can understand. Ambal is Dhyeya Rupa, I can also understand. But how can Ambal be the very meditator? I am obviously different from Ambal. Why does Vagdevi says Ambal is Dhyatru Rupa? Because we have a misunderstanding regarding our own self. We are something else, but we think we are something else. We are not this body. Whatever the limitations that we have is because of all our gunas. It is because of the qualities we have. My body is there. I am a male. I am a female. I am a Brahmana. I am a Kshatriya. I am a Vaishya. I am a Sudra. I am a father. I am a mother. I am a manager, or I am a worker. I am a CEO for this company. All these things, they all are related only with our body. But if beyond, if we go, we are nothing but that Chaitanya Swarupam. All these limitations, all these problems, Kaivali, Kalvali, Mutuvali, Mudugvali, Tirugvali, எல்லாம் இந்த உடம்புக்கு தானே ஒழிய நம்முடைய ஆத்மாவிற்கு ஒன்றுமே கிடையாது. And that Atma is our self. This is what we are seeing in Viveka Chudamani as well. I'm very glad that we are seeing the same thing in Lalitha Sahasranamam. So Ambal is Dhyana, Dhyatru, Dhyeya Rupa. Even our own self is Ambal. Aham Yityeva Vibhavaye Bhavani. That is the Dhyana Shloka of Lalita Sahasranama. Previously, I said that there is an Upanishad called as Bhavana Upanishad, where our own body is meditated upon as Sri Chakra, and our own self is meditated upon as Ambal. Deho Devalaya Proktaha Jivo Deva Sanatanaha Tyajit Ajnana Nirmalyam Soham Bhavena Pujayet. Saha Aham Bhavayena Pujayet. You do puja. Even when you are doing puja, you have to take up, you have to own up that form of Ambal. அம்பாளே அம்பாளுக்கு பூஜை பண்றதா நினைச்சுதான் நம்ம பூஜை பண்ணணும். நம்ம ஒரு பூஜை பண்ணா கூட சாஸ்திரா says that attitude behind that puja should be not, okay, I am a very Dina and then I am doing puja. No, you are Ambal, you are doing puja to Ambal as well. அந்த இதை வச்சுட்டு தான் பூஜை பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சாஸ்திரத்திலே சொல்லியிருக்கு. In Thiruvayar, in my native place, we even have an utsavam called as Tannaittan Pujittal. There is an utsavam during the month of Chitra, during the Chaitra Utsavam, during the Chitra month, Swami ki Kodierum. There, the fifth day utsavam is called as Tannaittan Pujittal. The puja is done by Parameshwara. The puja is done to Parameshwara. Parameshwara is doing puja to his own self. That is that utsavam that happens in Thiruvayar even now. Every year, And they say there are a lot of stories behind that, but the real meaning of that is there is no difference between the person doing the puja and the person to which puja is offered as well. Dhyana dhyatru dhyeya rupa dharma dharma vivarjita. Why? Because Ambal does not have any dharma, Ambal does not have any adharma. Now please do not take the regular meaning of dharma. Dharma several meanings. That is why it is very, very impossible to translate words such as dharma, atma, brahma, etc. Here, dharma means qualities. Dharma literally means qualities. To heat is the dharma of fire. சுடுறதுங்கிறது நெருப்போட தர்மம். We cannot find fault with that fire for being hot. If somebody is hurting other people, we will say, okay, no, this person is hurting me, so there has to be some papam for this person. But is there any papam for fire for hurting us? No, because to be hot is the dharma of the fire. Dharma can also mean quality. Dharma can also mean duty. But for fire, to be heat, to be hot is the dharma. It is the very quality of that fire. Adharma meaning without any quality. So dharma means qualities, guna. Adharma means without any guna. Ambal is dharma, adharma vivarjita. Ambal does not have any guna. Ambal has guna. Means what? She is beyond the realms of guna and nirguna, saguna and nirguna. Again, there is a beautiful Nammalvar Pasuram. Ulan yenil ulan, avan uruvam ivuruvugal. Ulan alan yenil, avan aruvam ivaruvugal. Ulan yena, ilan yena. Abdine சொல்ற. If somebody says Narayana has got a guna, then all these rupa that we see surround us, they are Narayana Swarupa. Ulan alan yenil, avan aruvam ivvaruvugal. If somebody says Narayana is nirguna, completely no problem, because there are several entities surrounding us that does not have any guna. Electricity does not have any guna. Guna like this cell phone or this computer. I cannot see electricity. I cannot hear electricity. I cannot taste electricity. I cannot do anything with electricity, but I know that electricity exists. Even though electricity is nirguna, I know that it exists because of its manifestation as, fan, light, AC, etc. In the same way, even though Narayana does not have any guna, I see Narayana through his manifestation of this whole world, says Nammalvar in his Thiruvaimozhi. Ulan yelil ulan, avan uruvam ivuruvugal. Ulan alan yenil, avan aruvam ivaruvugal. Dharma adharma vivarjita. Vishwarupa jagarani swapanti taijasatmika supta pragyatmika turya sarvavastha vivarjita. All these namas, if we take Viveka Chudamani, all these namas will come for Jiva Swarupa. All these namas will come for Jiva Swarupa. But here, Vagdevi says all these namas are for Ambal, which means what? Ambal and Jiva, all they are essentially the same. Jiva Ishvara Aikyam. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparha. Okay. What is Vishwarupa, Jagarani, Swapanti, Taijasatmika, Supta, Pragyatmika, Turya, Sarvavastha, Vivarjita? We all have 3 states of existence. All of us experience 3 states of existence. Do you know what are those 3 states? They are waking up state, dreaming state, and deep sleep state. Whatever experience that we have only in these 3 states. Waking up state. I hope all of us are waking up for Lalitha Sahasranamam class. And there is a dream state. When we sleep, we get some dream. Even in dreams, we get some experiences. So that is the dream state. And then deep sleep state. What is deep sleep state? That is the state which is devoid of waking up. We don't experience any outside entities. We also don't experience any inside entities. Because during the waking up state, most of our experiences comes from outside. This computer is beyond my body. This is not present within me. This mic is present outside my body. This cell phone is present outside my body. This monitor is present outside my body. So during our wake up state, we experience everything outside. The same time, during our dream state, we experience everything inside. The dream lion that we see is not present outside. The dream lion that is chasing us is present inside. The dream country to which we become president of is not present outside. The dream country to which we become president, that country itself is present inside. The dream money that we make while being a CEO of a dream company, it is present inside. The company is present inside. The CEO is present inside. The money also is present inside. So while we are dreaming, we experience everything inside. Nothing is present outside. So waking up state, we have outside experience. Dream state, we have inside experience. And there is a deep sleep state. Deep sleep state na, where we don't have any outside experience, we don't have any experience, where we have zero experience. We only have Ananda experience. Next day, if somebody wakes you up and asks you, hey, how did you sleep? I slept so much peacefully. Romba Anandama Tungine Kanave Valla Abdin Namada Solvom. Because we don't experience any external or internal disturbances. We only realize the Ananda Swarupa of that Atma. So these are three states of existence. And Shastra has given three technical names for these three states. The wake-up state is called as Jagrat Avastha. All these states are called as Avasthas. The waking up state is called as Jagrat Avastha. நம்ம தமிழ்லயே சொல்லுவோம், ஏதோ ஒரு முக்கியமான ஒரு சாமான கொண்டு போய் பக்கத்தாத்துல கொடுத்துட்டு வா அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவா. போறச்சே என்ன சொல்லுவா? ஜாகிரதையா போ அப்படின்பா. வாட் இஸ் மீன் பை ஜாகிரதையா போ? மீனிங் டு நாட் ஸ்லீப் வைல் கோவிங். ப்ளீஸ் டோன்ட் பி கேர்லெஸ், பட் யூ எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் எவ்ரிதிங் தட் இஸ் அவுட் சைட் எக்ஸ்டர்னல். பி வெரி கேர்ஃபுல். ஸோ ஜாகிரதையா பண்ணுன்னா நல்லா முழிச்சிருந்து பண்ணு அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம் இல்லையா? ஸோ ஜாகிரது மீன்ஸ் தட் waking up state is technically called as Jagrata, Jagrad Avastha. And the dream state is called as Swapna Avastha. அது நமக்கு எல்லாருக்குமே தெரியும். ஸ்வப்னம் காண்றது அப்படின்னா என்ன? கனவு காண்றது. கனவுக்கு தமிழ்ல ஸ்வப்னம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸ்வப்னத்துக்கு தமிழ்ல கனவுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ ஸ்வப்னா மீன்ஸ் ட்ரீம் ஸ்டேட். ஸ்வப்னாவஸ்தா மீன்ஸ் ட்ரீம் ஸ்டேட். And the deep sleep state, it is called as Sushupti. That is the word we have to remember. Because Jagrata, we use it often. Swapna, we use it often. Sushupti is the one we don't use it often. That one we have to remember by heart. So Sushupti means that deep sleep state. Sushupti means that deep sleep state where we don't experience any external things, where we don't experience any internal things as well. So Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti, we have to be very, very clear of. Only then we can understand these namas. So three are there. Waking up state called as Jagrata Avastha, dream state called as Swapna Avastha, deep sleep state called as Sushupti Avastha. Now, Shastra also gives technical name for the waker, dreamer, and the sleeper. In English, the state is called as waking up state, and the technical name for the person who undergoes waking up state, the technical name for the person who experiences the waking up state is called as waker. The waker can be Rama, Shyama, etc. The waker can have any other name. Common name with which we denote that person who is waking up is called as waker. Just like that, common name, computer is a common name. But inside computer, you have Dell, you have iMac, you have notebook, you have Acer, etc. All these are different names, but together they are called as computers, right? In the same way, I can have my own name. Somebody can have their own name, but a general name for all of us when we wake up is called as waker, meaning the person who is waking up in English. In the same way, the technical name for that person in the Jagrada Avastha, the technical name for that person who wakes up is called as Vishwa. Jagrat is the Avastha. Vishwa is the person who is undergoing that Avastha. Jagrat is waking up Avastha, the waking up state. Vishwa is that person who is waking up. So Vishwa is the person, Jagrat is the Avastha. In the same way, Swapna is the Avastha. Swapna means dream state. Swapna is the Avastha. The technical name for the person who undergoes that Swapnam is called as Taijasa. Taijasa is the person who is dreaming. The Taijasa is the technical name for the dreamer. So Vishwa, waker, Taijasa, dreamer. Now we have Sushupti. Sushupti is the avastha, the deep sleep state. And the person who undergoes Sushupti is called as Prajna. Prajna is the sleeper, deep sleeper. Prajna is the person who undergoes Sushupti avastha. Sushupti is the state of existence. Now with that background, we will see these namas. Vishwarupa Jagarini, Swapanti Taijasatmika, Supta Pragnatmika. So all these are 6 namas. Vishwarupa is a nama, Jagarani is a nama, Swapanti is a nama, Taijasatmika is a nama, Shukta is a nama, Pragnatmika is a nama. So there are 6 namas, but we are going to study them in groups of 2. Vishwarupa Jagarini, we have to study as one entity. They are 2 namas, but we are going to study them together. Swapanti Taijasatmika, they are 2 namas, we are going to study together. Shupta Pragnatmika, they are 2 namas, we are going to study them together. Because Vishwa is the person who wakes up. Vishwa is the waker. So Vishwarupa, Ambal is in the form of Vishwa, is called as Vishwarupa. There is another meaning for the word Vishwarupa. We will see that later, but now we will finish this analysis and then we will come back to Vishwarupa later and then we will see. So here Vishwarupa is a technical name. Ambal is called as Vishwarupa because she is in the form of Vishwarupa. Rupa. Ambal's one of Rupam is Vishwa. She is in the form of Vishwa. So that is why Ambal is called as Vishwarupa. Vishwa means what? The person who wakes up, right? That is what Lalitha Sahasranamam itself clarifies. Okay, what is that Vishwarupa? Because it is Jagarani. She is called as Vishwarupa because he is waking up. Jagradavastha, Jagradai. So Jagarani. Vishwarupa, Jagarani. Ambal is in the form of the person who wakes up. Ambal is in the form of the waker. Vishwarupa. Ambal is in the form of the same person because he is waking up Jagarani. That is one unit. Swapanti Taijasatmika. Swapanti, Swapna is the avastha. Swapna, நம்ம சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, ஸ்வப்னம் காண்றதுன்னா கனவு காண்றது. So Swapanti is the avastha. And Taijasatmika, Ambal is in the form of that person who dreams. Swapanti, the dreamer. Taijasatmika, Ambal is in the form of that person who dreams. So Swapanti, Taijasatmika. Next nama. Supta, Pragnatmika. Supta, Sushupti Avastha is called as Shupta here. So Shupta means that deep sleep state, and Ambal is called as Prajna at that Avastha. So Ambal is in the form of Prajna, the person who sleeps deeply. So Ambal is waker, Ambal is dreamer, Ambal is deep sleeper. Ambal is Vishwa. Ambal is Taijasa. Ambal is Prajna. Here all these names explains Ambal's Rupa as Jiva. Ambal is not only as Ishvara, Ambal is also Jiva. Now we have a question. The next two namas are there. Turiya, Sarvavastha, Vivarjita. What does that mean? We only experience three states. What are these three states? Waking up state, dream state, deep sleep state. What is that Turya? Turya is something fourth, right? Literally, Turya means the fourth. Literally, நம்ம நாலாவது அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, அதோடைய சம்ஸ்கிருத பேர் தான் துரியம் அப்படிங்கிறது. நம்ம நிறைய அந்த துரியம்ங்கிற வார்த்தை எல்லாம் நிறைய கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்போம். துரியம், துரியமை ஞானம் அப்படின்லாம் விநாயகர் அகவல் எல்லாம் வருது. ஸோ துரியா literally means the fourth. Here, Vagdevis are accommodating the terminology as given in Mandukya Upanishad. All these things I'm just saying, Vagdevis have just explained in one line. But there is an Upanishad called as Mandukya Upanishad, where all these terms are defined, because somebody can ask you, who says Supta is dreamer, is deep sleeper? Who says Prajna is the deep sleeper? Who says Jagrad Avastha? Who says Vishwarupa? Who says Vishwa is that waker? We have to have a basis, right? All these basis comes from the Upanishad called as Mandukya Upanishad. In that Upanishad, while explaining all these things, also explains that Turiya. What is that Turiya? Let us take another example, and then we will understand Turiya better. This class is going to be a little bit longer because I want to finish this concept in this class. We have a lump of gold. We have a lump of gold, and then we are going to make many ornaments with that gold. We have a lump of gold. We go to the goldsmith, and then we are saying, hey, I want a pair of earrings. I want a pair of bangles, and then I want a nice haram. We say, a pair of earrings, the same goldsmith, the same gold, he has taken some and then he has made a pair of earrings. He has made a pair of bangles. He has made a nice haram as well. If we see from the ornaments point of view, they all have different names. Something is called as bangle. If it is round and if it can be worn in our hand, it is called as bangle. If it is, if it has different name and if it has different shape and form, it is called as a hara. If it has different function and form, it is called as an earring. But can I call all these three as gold? If anybody will object me, if I call all these three as gold, nobody is going to object. But we normally don't tell all these three as gold. We have separate names for all these things. And then we also have something called as gold. Gold is that substrate. Gold is that cause with which all these three are built up, right? In the same way, Turiyam is that Atma. Turiyam is that Atma Vastu, which sometimes gets expressed as waker, which sometimes gets expressed as dreamer, which sometimes gets expressed as the sleeper. Just like how the same gold, depending upon its name and form, is called as a bangle, is called as a chain, it is called as an earring. But gold is present in all these things and only gold is present. In the same way, Turiya is that Atma Vastu who gets expressed as the dreamer, who gets expressed as the waker, who gets expressed as the deep sleeper, says Mandukya Upanishad. And that is what normally we say Turiyam, Turiyavastha அப்படின்னா சொன்னோம்னா எந்தவித அவஸ்தையும் இல்லாமல். If we compare, if we take that same analogy, being bangle is an avastha, being chain is an avastha, being earring is an avastha. Then what do we say is the avastha for gold? For gold, there is no avastha, because gold, it is just a lump. It is not bangle, it is not chain, it is not earring, but it can become bangle. It is that substratum with which bangle is made, right? In the same way, Turiyam is that substratum. So what is the avastha for Turiya? Sarva avastha vivarjita. Even though Ambal has got, even though Ambal is the substrate, even though Atma Vastu is the adhishtanam for Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti avastha, just like how gold by itself cannot be called as a bangle or chain or earring, because gold is sarvavastha vivarjita. Ambal here is also called as sarvavastha vivarjita. So the turiya and sarvavastha vivarjita explains the atma. Atma is turiya. Atma is sarvavastha vivarjita. But because of avidya, it becomes jagradavastha. It gets into jagradavastha. It gets into swapnavastha. It gets into sushupti avastha. When the turiya atma is present in jagradavastha, it is called as Vishwa. When the turiya avastha is present in swapnavastha, it is called as Taijasa. When the turiya avastha is present in sushupti avastha, it is called as prajna. Just like how if the gold is present in circular form, it is called as a bangle. If the gold is present in the form of an earring, it is called as earring. If the gold is present in the form of a long chain, it is called as a chain. But gold by itself is devoid of all these three avasthas. Turiya is sarva avastha vivarjita. Sarvavastha vivarjita. So with this, I will finish today's class. I know this class has become so much technical in Vedanta, in the philosophy of Vedanta. It is going to continue. Actually, with this, it finishes. And next it comes Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra. What is Brahma? What is Vishnu? Ambal is present in Brahma form. Ambal is present as Vishnu. Ambal is present as Rudra. Ambal is present as Ishvara. Ambal is present as Sadashiva. In fact, Ambal is present as everybody. It is what Lalitha Sahasranamam wants to say. Now we have Golu. Golu is the festival. Navaratri is going to come. Navaratri la nama nariya Golu la vekkirom. All these have different names and forms. But we worship all these as Ambal. Why? Because Ambal is present in the Vishwarupa. In the chat box, we have shared a video. This is my video, which I did for last Navaratri or the Navaratri before that, where we actually see Vishwarupam of Ambal, all those things. We have seen how that is related to Navaratri and all. If you guys have time, you can go through all these things, because that is what we are going to see in the next week. This is like kind of homework, kind of assignment for you guys. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi.